Hi everyone, it's Jen here from tarotspirit.net. I'm here to do your reading for the week of March 5th. So thank you for joining me. I'm using Barbara Moore's Silver Witchcraft Tarot today. It's really one of my favorite decks. It's the energy. I really connect with Barbara's decks for whatever reason. Um, they I just I get just a good vibes, good feeling, good messages from them. And I like the back too, it's cool. And the blue color. So I just wanted to share a quick story. I was at work. I work at an academic medical center, and I was walking over to another building, and there are these two maintenance men um, leaning up against the wall, just shooting the breeze or whatever. And as I'm walking by, they're probably mid 50s, whatever, not that that's really important, but so I was walking by and I heard one of them go, "Hey, so what are you, an Aquarius?" And the other guy was like, "No, Capricorn." And the first guy was like, "No way, me too." And it was so awesome because I just had to chuckle to myself about how I had this predetermined stereotype, I guess you'd call it, in my brain. Like the last thing I would have expected from these construction workers, maintenance guys, would be them to just shoot in the breeze about astrology. But it was so awesome, and it was such a great reminder to me to just be mindful of these prejudices, I guess you would call them, these assumptions, these maybe even expectations of what I think based on someone's occupation or gender or age. And so it was on one hand, it was like super awesome. I just loved that I overheard these manly men um, talking astrology. But you know what? Real men love astrology. That's what I got out of that. But I got a gentle reminder to myself to be mindful of um, my what I'm projecting on other people, and that I'm not judging people based on really nothing, really like society, and not just on each individual person, because someone's, again, age, gender, occupation is doesn't mean you can make really any assumptions about them. So it was a good little slap on the wrist, and I just thought I would pass that along. But it was such a great story because still, I mean, I just thought it was awesome that these guys were shooting the shit about astrology. Okay, let's jump into the reading. So the focus of the week is a Three of Pentacles. That's a great, crossed by the Seven of Swords. The past is a Four of Cups. Crowning us, the Knight of Wands. Nice card. Near future, Two of Wands. And I'll say the outcome cards. Let's look at the bottom of the deck. Okay, so the bottom of the deck is the Nine of Pentacles. I love the Nine of Pentacles in this deck. She's so mysterious. She's cloaked in this beautiful green, which to me is all about abundance, and even love is a excuse me, can be represented by the color green. I did get out this aventurine today, so. But it's interesting because I never read this card this way except for in this deck. I can't tell if she has a secret, if she's cautioning us to keep a secret, if she has the secret to something. And I sort of like figured out she sort of has the secret to happiness, to abundance figured out on some level. That is what it's saying. She has a beautiful, I'm assuming it's a falcon. I'm not 100% sure, but most decks, they show her with a fountain. Oh, there are grapes. I didn't know grapes grew on but there, you can barely see it, but there are grapes in the background. Fruitful abundance. Um, Traditionally, this is a single woman. You have to think tarot cards, speaking of stereotypes, we talk about archetypes, stereotypes all the time in tarot cards to prove a point or to explain a lesson. These were created back when society had very strict rules about what women do, what men do, blah blah blah. And this woman usually presides over her own estate. She's usually single, and she has a falcon that she's trained, which traditionally would be not a something that a pastime, a hobby a woman would do. So she's really breaking down stereotypes and gender roles and all those types of things. Interesting that I was just talking about at the beginning of the reading. So this is probably a week where we really challenge. I think the best way to do it is from our own personal center. Where am I putting assumptions and limitations on other people surrounding because of what society or their gender, their whatever, I think they're supposed to be in this type of a box, and I'm not comfortable with them breaking out of that box. And where are we doing that to ourselves? Most important. Um, do you not feel like you can do something because maybe you really want to, you're a woman, you really want to learn how to change the oil in your car. Society, we're not taught to do that as girls, really. And so if you're of interest in mechanics, go take a class. If you're a guy, my friend of mine at work was at a knitting. She loves to knit, and she has this weekend she goes on once a year, and it's a big knitting um, weekend. I don't know what you call it, but there were some guys there, and she's like, I just loved it. Like, real men knit, real girls work on cars. Like, let's really make sure you're not holding yourself back or anyone else back because it's different. Do something different this week. Try something different. Dream about something different that maybe you've otherwise kept secret because it just feels a little weird, and what will people think of me, and blah 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 blah. Like, if you ever find yourself thinking, well, what if I do that, what will people think of me, I feel like that's probably something you should do, unless it's selling drugs and setting up a meth lab, like on Breaking Bad or something. I feel like that's like the key of what you should be pursuing, what you should be doing. Okay, let's move on. Three of Pentacles, really good work card, another Pentacles. So we're talking about real tangible changes in the world, where we live, how we earn our money, our resources, our surroundings, the earth, all the types of things that we can put our hands on. The Three of Pentacles talks, this is another card in this deck that sometimes I read a little different. Because to me, I've always she's like carving, yes, she's an artist maybe, and she's using this man as a model to create her sculpture. But I always get this, she's creating her own man. And I'm not really even sure what that means, but I kind of love it. And it's like, create your own way, create your own version of something, your own version of your life, your own version of whatever. Like, you can, almost like a magician energy, you can create whatever you want. You can break the mold. You can do whatever you want. So if in the workplace, don't be afraid to break out. I mean, I'm not as wild as I was as a younger person. I am conservative with things like my job. I'm not going to just up and quit my job and move to Los Angeles and try to become a movie star at age 46. I just don't think that that's wise. But if I'm interested in acting, there are all sorts of local theater groups, and I'm sure I could take acting classes. I'm sure, like, find ways to start working towards that dream, at least in some capacity in your life. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. Don't be afraid to think that overused saying, but it's kind of great. Think outside of the box at work this week. People are going to potentially recognize you for your innovation, for your maybe you're creating something from scratch. Maybe you have a real strong idea about how to do something differently. Um, be careful who you share it with, I will say. So don't just talk to everyone about it so that it almost becomes like they don't know where the original idea comes from. But share it with a boss. Put it in writing, and maybe send an email like, I you know, I had an idea and here it is, and that way it's documented that I came from you, and it's something that you can refer back to. And I'm just bringing that up because we do have it crossed with the Seven of Swords, and this is my card for someone in your atmosphere, in your surroundings, is maybe behaving a little badly, maybe up to no good, maybe being a little selfish, and so just use your discernment. Play your cards a little closer to your chest this week, and chest, and just a caution. There may be someone, and I don't want to promote paranoia or anything, but use your gut instinct. There may be someone, potentially probably in your workplace, but it could be outside of work as well, that you think is your friend, that may be like a frenemy, that may be not quite who you think they are. So just a slight caution to protect yourself, and just maybe not share all of your secrets. And the recent past was the Four of Cups. So I feel like this card to me is just a card where it's like, not necessarily anything's horrible is going on. Like, everything is fine, but it's just kind of like blah. Like, you're just going through the motions, you feel like you get up, you go to work, you come home, before you know it, you're going to bed and just starting it. You're just like, I feel like a little bit like a robot. And I have, I feel this way kind of a lot if I'm being lazy. And now sometimes this is the depression card. If you've been feeling this way for quite some time, definitely, I don't give um, therapy advice except for the advice that go see a therapist or a medical profession, because depression is real. And so this is not for those people. This is for those people that they're doing fine. They're doing okay, but it's just like blah, like, oh, my life is just passing me by. That's how, for me, it's like I'm working kind of for the weekend, and it's just going through the motions. And sometimes before I go to bed, I'm just like, God, what have I done? What have I accomplished? And then I really realize it's up to me to make my time work for me. And so I don't need to, if I think, oh, and I get home, oh, it was a long day, and I just kind of slump down, and I pull out the computer and just sort of sit there, and before I know it, it's like time to go to bed. Well, that's on me for wasting my night. And I've really lately, like, I'm really trying to get my steps in. So what I've been coming home, and I've been getting on the treadmill, or I've been trying to, instead of just feeling like having it in my head, I'm exhausted, I just want to get home and like decompress, and do that by watching TV. Whereas, okay, I was at work and now it's over and now I have the whole evening to do what I want to do. And just that shift in thought can give you some energy, and then when I go to bed at night, it's like I feel good. I feel better. So look for ways that you can, put one foot in front of the other, really, and just take action. We were talking about, we have a couple pentacles here. That's tangible. Like, do some tangible things to show that, you're really working on it. I started creating an outline for a tarot course, which I've said I was going to do for, I don't know, how long have I had this channel? 3 years now. And I'm going to create a mailing list. It's like I'm giving myself actual deadlines, because what I will do is be like, yeah, I'm going to do that, but without deadlines or giving myself some actual goals to work on, kind of like I would at work. I would never procrastinate things at all. So it's like, give myself that same sort of dedication in my um in my home life. Wow, I'm sorry, this is a long video. Honeymoon card on the top here. This is getting your mojo back. So that's what I was just talking about. I don't need to repeat it. Light your own fire. Get your mojo back. What are you interested in? What do you want to do? Real men knit and talk about astrology. What do you want to do? Just start taking steps to do it. I know when I would do yoga after work, like I'd be like, oh, I don't want to go to yoga. Just that same, I just want to go home and I'm so tired. But if I just put my yoga pants, just do it. Just put my yoga clothes, go to yoga, and I would feel amazing after. It's just such a natural high. So figure out ways to get yourself motivated so that you really feel at the end of the day that you lived the day. You didn't just go through the motions. This is making a choice coming up. So there is some sort of choice. Are you going to just continue to go through the motions, or are you going to shake your life up a little bit? Are you going to create your own reality, mold your own future, take steps to make it happen, hands-on? Be hands-on in your life to make what you want to have happen. But it's a choice here. And he has a higher perspective, but it's like the breakthrough's coming. The sun is coming up. It's something is going to solidify, and you're going to have like this aha moment. Page of Pentacles. The beginning of something tangible. Just, this is that energy. They don't have, this guy wants instant gratification, but he gets your mojo running. Paired with this Page of Pentacles, this page is like, you know what? I need to start now or I'll never start. But I know it's just the beginning. And having that mindset that, okay, I'm just starting to formulate a plan. I'm starting to save money for what I do. I'm starting to take classes. I'm starting to gather information. This is a student. I'm going to figure out if I can go back to school. I'm going to figure out, you're starting to put some actual practical, tangible things in place to move forward. And this queen should write stuff down, write a plan, write a list, write some goals, make a business plan for your life outside of, it could be your own business as well. Maybe if you've been doing a hobby, maybe it's time to go to a lawyer and make it official, become an official business. Write things down, have a plan. Gather data, gather facts, gather information. So it's not just ideas in your head and something you're passionate about. Start really getting practical about what you want to manifest in your life. Sorry, this went way longer than I meant it to. So I'm going to leave it at that. It's really like a new beginning. It's the cards are challenging you to really tangibly start to do all those things that you kind of have in your mind, but just sort of never really actually go anywhere. Time to take action, to take tangible action.